Man, we've been saying this all this time. When I seen this clip on Smokey Robinson, I literally yelled in the air in praise and joy, man. The message that I'm going to put with this, which led me into wanting to do a content piece on Smokey Robinson. For one, Smokey Robinson is an icon in the music industry. I mean, he is one of the greats when it comes to Motown music, man. If you haven't heard his music, definitely go look it up. But Smokey Robinson played a major influence with a lot of the music that developed into today. Just good groove music of loving relationships. But the guy has always been pretty based in his stance, right? I never took him for being like what we see today, someone being anti-white. He's always had messages of somewhat bringing people together. And that's what I like about Smokey Robinson. When I seen this piece, I'm telling you, man, I praise and joy because I got a great message to go along with what he said when he was featured onto The View. I think it's a message that everybody needs to hear, especially with the social climate that we have when it comes to race relations in our country. You know, it seems to have a lot of people that are expressing their true feelings inside, which comes off very, like bigots, right? Comes off very anti-white. And it's something that I combat. So I want to add a great message along with what Smokey Robinson said. If you don't know, he has a poem called Black American. And in the poem, it's basically saying, look, I love being black. You know, we all originated from Africa. And, you know, if that means we're all from Africa and we're all one human race. So it's kind of a message of bringing people together, but also a message of appreciating and just loving the country that you're from. So when I'm going to play the clip, I'm going to play an old clip of him first, but I want you to listen to what he's saying so you can get a quick synopsis and get caught up to what I'm saying so I can show you what he said in present day, which I think is so important. So let me play the clip. This is the clip where he's basically talking about, you know, we're all from Africa. We all originated from it. We're all African American, right? This is where he originally was embracing being called African American. But now he has a poem, it's called Black American, to where he regrets being called African American, and he embraces and he wants other people to embrace that, look, it's okay to be proud and love being black, but don't not embrace the country that you're from. You're from America, and that's the message. So I want to play the old clip of when he used to speak the language of African American and how it still was a unity message, but, you know, still showing his appreciation of who he is. And all we can do is respect that. I respect that, right? So I'm going to play it. Here we go.
But according to a geographical genealogy study published in Time magazine, the black African people were the first on the scene. So for what it's worth, the black African people were the first on earth, and through migration, our characteristics started to change and rearrange to adapt to whatever climate we migrated to. And that's how I became me, and you became you. So if we're going to go back, let's go all the way back. And if Adam was black and Eve was black, then that kind of makes it a natural fact that everybody in America is an African American. Everybody in Europe is an African European. Everybody in the Orient is an African Asian, and so on and so on. That is, if the origin of man is what we're going to go on. And if one drop of black blood makes you black like they say, then everybody's black anyway.
So now that you heard the message of his language of being African American, right? Embracing the language of being called African American. Even then, he had a message that unites us as a country. And I just wish we had more iconic figures for the minority community that spoke this language. But we don't. We see that they're all cowering to this woke narrative that is very anti-white, and it really shows their hatred towards white people. And a lot of the things that are taking place in the country, it shows that they have selective outrage, right? So I love the fact that Smokey Robinson, his approach was always approach that, look, it's okay to love who you are. Love being black, but embrace the country that you're in, which is his messaging has changed. So he had made a poem called Black American, and someone made a cartoon, so they wanted to feature him on The View. And what I love about this, I'm not going to play their whole interview. You have to look it up. I just want to play the clip that really pertains to what I'm talking about. What I really respect about this guy is, like I said earlier, we don't have enough minority figures, icons, leaders, people that were major in the industry far as music or entertainment, right, that speak this language of unity, but still embracing the fact that they love being who they are. And like we just witnessed with Smokey Robinson, his message is like, look, we all originate from one place. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all here. But now his messaging has changed to, hey, embrace and love the country that you're in. We have contributed to so many different things in building this great country, which is such an important message in this present day and time. And why I have so much respect for Smokey Robinson is the fact that he did it on The View, which is so left-leaning, pro-regressive, liberal, libtard, democratic cabal propaganda. He goes onto this platform that is a big platform, and he spoke this language. He spoke this message that so many people need to hear, which is why I was so inspired to do this content on it, and I hope that you guys appreciate it. So let me play the clip so you can hear what I'm talking about.
I'm a person, I resent being called an African American. I really do. Now, I've traveled all over the world, and Africa is one of the few places in the world that I've never been yet, okay? But I think that when you do that, you're disclaiming all the things, all the contributions that black people have made to America. You see, I consider myself to be a black American, and I enjoy being called black. And black has been so negativized as a color down throughout history by those who wanted to negativize it. And so it spilled over into the black community, into the black people.
And this is
even
true.
Black people back in the day calling each other black was a sign for a fight or something like that, because it had been so negativized, like black was just so negative. So I resent being called an African American because black people have contributed so much to the development of the United States of America.
Thank you.
You mentioned the poem. And I sent you guys these books, Black History books, and I hope each one of you got them.
So right now he's getting ready to talk about a book that he recommended to The View readers, right? And he wanted, I guess, to promote the book to everybody else. And basically this is a book of black history, but black iconic figures that contributed to the American society, right? But so far, as you can tell, the message is amazing. I'm gonna let it play on.
Books, and I hope each one of you got them. It tells all the black contributions that black people have made to America, okay? And in the poem that I wrote called Being a Black American, there's a passage that says, all the wonderful black Americans who served in the armed forces and gave their lives in all the wars, they did not do that for Timbuktu or Cape Town or Kenya. They died for...
Did you just hear what he just said? All the people that contributed to the American country in the history, the people that served, that means he respects our military. He respects the servicemen of all colors, but he's pointing out black Americans that served in our country's military. He said they ain't served for Kenya. They didn't serve for Ethiopia, Egypt. They didn't serve for Ghana. They didn't serve for Nigeria, Liberia. They served for this country. I'll let them go on.
Mississippi and Alabama and Georgia and Louisiana and Texas and Virginia, okay? So that's how I feel about it. And we have contributed so much positivity to America, I think it should be acknowledged. I think it's a shame that only white history is taught in our schools. Everyone who has contributed to this country should be recognized, and their contributions should be recognized. So that's how I feel about being black, and I'm proud to call myself a black American. Yeah.
So there you have it. I mean, he went a little woke towards the end, but look, overall, the message is great. And I would even challenge Mr. Smokey Robinson that we do learn about black figures in our schools. Do you want to say that we should learn about more outside of the ones that are taught? Sure, I'll agree with you on that. But overall, his message is a great message. And why I respect it so much is because he did it on such a big platform where we're so used to hearing that woke message of, oh, we're victims and this country's so racist and everything around us racist. Burn this whole system down. We hate America. The Constitution is trash, from Dr. Doolittle the other day. We constantly hear this battering of this country and completely forget the fact that people of color, black folks, have contributed great things to this country, that this country is a country to be proud to be a part of. to love this country. So I think that the message was awesome. It's outside of what we normally hear. You know, he maintained his stance of what we typically would hear from a black liberal. But overall, man, he's always had a great message that kind of united people, right? How many times have you heard conservatives that are just like me, that are just so happen to be black, been saying that it's okay to love the country, to respect the Constitution? Maybe because we know something that Smokey Robinson knows. Maybe because we know those parts of history that we contributed to so much. We know about the Frederick Douglasses and the Booker T. Washingtons and many other great Americans that were black. Many great Americans that were of brown descent, Hispanic. There's so many, and we've contributed to just like anybody else in this country. We fought alongside of people that sacrificed their lives and freedoms to make the country what it is today. I think when it was over, 300-something thousand white, black folks died so that we can be emancipated, so we can have the country that we have today. It took time, people. It took time for our country to resolve and to overcome and to develop into where it is today. We have many more things that we have to work on. Is America a perfect country? Absolutely not. But it has progressed in a positive way. And it's just sad that we see people out here that are pro-regressive. And it seems like they want to repeat history and somehow make it positive segregation and make it the black genre and the Hispanic genre, which compartmentalizes us, right? That was what the whole civil rights movement was all about, to destroy the construct of putting people in compartmentalizing them based off of sexuality, religion, the color of someone's skin, right? That was what it was all about, so that people can judge and live life amongst each other while judging people off the content of their character, right? The message from Martin Luther King Jr., right? That was what it was all about. And our country has truly moved from there. You know, we have to remember, not only did 300-something thousand plus people died, right? Not only did people bargain, three-fifths compromise, they did what they had to do to create bargains and agreements to unite a union to make it the United States of America, which was one of the first acts of mankind, right? You have to realize, you know, they always say it was written by some white person and it wasn't written for black people. It's just like the Bible. We know where the Bible originates from. There were God-inspired men that wrote the Bible. You can't deny the wisdom and the parables that are in the Bible. The Constitution were written by people that were inspired by the principles and values that were set forth for God. Everything that's on the Constitution is our God-given right as human beings, which is why we have millions of people on a waiting list to come to this country, because we have something, people. It's worth fighting for. We have something that other people don't have. We have freedom. We have freedom and opportunity here in this country. And it's just so sad that we have people that absolutely hate this country, but yet they won't leave the country. So, you know, I love the message that Smokey Robinson has. He regrets and he basically condemns being called an African American. He says he's a black American. If I were to talk to him, I would go as far as saying, look, I respect you calling yourself a black American. But I would have challenged you and say, why don't we just call ourselves American? Why do we have to? It's okay to love being black. It's okay to love being white. It's okay to love being Hispanic or Asian. That's fine. But just like the society that we have now, they want to destroy all these constructs. They want to destroy the gender construct and the marital construct and this society construct. Oh, the man is the head of the household. The woman is this. The women can do the same thing. Construct. They want to break down all these different constructs, and they hate them, and they want to change them and destroy them. But I have yet seen them want to destroy the race construct. Why do we have to keep referring to each other as, you're a white man, I'm a black man, he's Asian, he's a Hispanic American? Why can't we just be, we're American? And it's not to say that we're colorblind. It's no way. It's just to say that, hey, we're American. I accept you as my brother. I accept you as my sister. I'm judging you off your content of your character, how you carry yourself, how you respect yourself, and I ask you to do the same for me. Why can't I would challenge Mr. Smokey Robinson through his messaging, right? That why don't we just call each other Americans? We don't need to be calling ourselves people of color, because white folks are a color as well. Hispanics are a color. Asian people are a color. We're all different shades of color. So why do we call ourselves people of color? Why do we call ourselves African Americans when nobody's from Africa? I mean, Smokey Robinson just broke it down. We didn't do all this great stuff to contribute to this country for somebody all the way in Kenya, someone all the way in Egypt or Sudan or Ghana, Nigeria, Ethiopia, South Africa. We didn't do the great things for the African continent. We did it for Mississippi, like Smokey Robinson said, Mississippi, Texas, Florida, Virginia, D.C., California, Washington State, Louisiana, Tennessee. I mean, I could go on, Georgia. I could go on and on, Michigan. I could go on and on and on. We did great things for this country right here. So why do we call ourselves African American? And last but not least, why do we even call ourselves Black American or White American or Hispanic American or Asian American? Why can't we just be Americans? Do you want to destroy all the other constructs in this country, in the world, the social construct? Then let's destroy the race construct and just refer to us as human beings, Americans, European, Asian, from Asia. I don't know. I think that would help. Let's destroy that construct. That's something that I would get behind. Let's call each other Americans and respect each other as human beings. And I treat you the way that I want to be treated, right? I don't prejudge you and come up with an assumption or make blanket statements and thinking that just because of one bad experience, I think everybody's the same way. Because a couple bad apples in the police department, the whole police department is white supremacy and racist. Or, Craig, you shucking and driving. You're looking for white exception, validation. Why do I have to be that? Why can't I just speak a message that is going to try to unite us? You understand what I'm saying, people? So, that's what I would say. I would challenge that. Our country was a great country. It was, man. We contributed so much. 300-something thousand people died. Black folks were right alongside them fighting. That Constitution was written by people that were inspired by the principles of God, principles and values that God put in place. Those are our God-given rights. That was the first act of mankind. Shortly after, they abolished slavery. You have to remember, because people hold on to this grudge of slavery and what took place in America. It was atrocious, and I don't try to downplay that. I can acknowledge that. And I think everybody that's watching and listening can acknowledge it as well. It was terrible. But you have to understand slavery has been going on since human history. No one did what the United States did. They had active campaigns of ending slavery. They were campaigning in different countries. They were going in the Caribbean. They was everywhere trying to campaign to end slavery. So, America was the first step. And it takes time to unravel and undo what a construct that everybody was so used to. So there was black eyes of American history, but we evolved. We overcame. Our forefathers, white and black, overcame. Hispanic brothers too, they overcame. They fought. They didn't hold resentment and anger and hatred. They overcame, and they continue to keep working together so that we have the country that we have today in 2022. And I'm just always going to be a freedom fighter. I'm always going to be a truth teller. I'm always going to be a person that's going to try to tell a message to bridge the gap, to have understanding. You can't break away from those values that God set in place. So, I'm going to end it with that. I don't want to get too long-winded. I hope you guys appreciate the message that I had today. Thank you guys for listening. I love you guys. My merchandise store is almost finished and up. I got some new designs and had to revamp some things and did some stuff with branding. But I did put other handles and stuff in the description if you want to support me. That's completely up to you. If you do, and thank you in advance. I appreciate it. Like always, thank you for watching. Please like, share, make sure you subscribe, and definitely leave a comment. I always answer all my comments, man. Thank y'all. Your boy, Craig Long 45 is out. Peace.
Yeah, oi.